about Alzheimer's. What is Alzheimer's? A question may have popped up in your mind like that. Now, basically, Alzheimer's is a disease. Alzheimer's is like a form of a brain disease called dementia. Now, dementia is a brain disease where your memory is short. That means you can't remember things properly. Like the famous Henry Molaison, also known as HM. His poor guy, his hippocampus was removed, so he couldn't remember things properly. Now, Alzheimer's is kind of like that. Now, imagine your brain is made up of 1,000 or 1,000,000 or so mini brains. Now, what are those mini brains? They are two neurons connecting. Those mini brains are called synapses. Now, what are synapses? Synapses are basically the point where two neurons connect. Now, synapses is where you think, feel, see, smell, and most importantly, remember. Now, remember that point. Because let's picture we're all 85. Some of you probably have Alzheimer's. Now, let's picture you're 40. You're not a spring chicken anymore, so amyloid beta plaques are building up. Wait. Let's rewind a bit. What are amyloid beta plaques? Now, remember I told you about the synapses? Despite neurons sending neurotransmitters like glutamate into the synapse, they also release this thing called amyloid beta. Now, amyloid beta is sticky, and also remember that also. Now, amyloid beta is cleared away routinely by these things called microglia cells. They're like the janitor cells of our brains. Now, sometimes amyloid beta plaques can keep building up. If too much is deposited or not enough is cleared up, I told you amyloid beta was sticky, right? Now these sticky amyloid beta proteins will all form and clump together to turn into those clumps called amyloid beta plaques. Now amyloid beta plaques are slowly forming. That means they don't just form. They slowly form. And now, and after that, there's a tipping point. If it exceeds that tipping point, then the cascade happens. You have full-blown Alzheimer's. You are symptomatic and diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Don't start to freak out after they see this sentence, please. Now, imagine you come into a room and now you're thinking, where are my keys? What's his name? Now, don't freak out, please. I told you at the start. Because these are all normal glitches in memory. But for Alzheimer's, the glitches in memory and on a new level. Now, in Alzheimer's, instead of finding your keys in your pocket or on the table next to the door, you find them in the refrigerator. And you think, what are these for? Now, I told you these were on a whole new level. Even I couldn't process it. Now there are ways you can prevent Alzheimer's. Let's say your risk factors are like a seesaw scale. Now, let's pile up one of your risk factors on one arm and your risk of getting Alzheimer's on the other. Now, if you're like Alice and still Alice, you have a rare genetic mutation that cranks out amyloid beta like crazy. So this alone will tip your scale onto the ground. Now, in some families that have Alzheimer's, there is a gene called ApoE4. It is a gene that increases the production of Alzheimer's in in your body. But you might inherit a copy of ApoE4 from both mom and dad and have no absolute signs of Alzheimer's for the rest of your life. But can we change our brain's destiny? Now, cardiovascular disorders. If you like bacon and you don't run until someone's chasing you, you do have high risk of getting Alzheimer's. And there are also many risk factors. A heart-healthy Mediterranean lifestyle helps to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's. Now, there are ways you can prevent Alzheimer's. It all has to do with these two key words. Never forget these in your life and you will have an Alzheimer-free life. They are neuroplasticity and cognitive reserve. I repeat, cognitive reserve. Now, basically, neuroplasticity and cognitive reserve are both the same thing. I'll explain it to you in a format of a research. In a study, more than 674 nuns all over the age of 75 were followed for 2 decades. They were given daily cognitive checkups and there was no impairment. Now, all 674 nuns, all over the age of 75, were followed. They were given daily or weekly neural checkups, and they were all perfectly smart. Now, after those nuns died, their brains were donated for autopsy. Now, what scientists found interesting in some of those brains was, don't exclaim wonder, because besides all the tangles, all the neural cell death, all the dug up synapse, all the amyloid beta plaques, all the brain shrinkage, what happened to be unquestionable Alzheimer's, the nuns who had belonged to those brains showed no signs of Alzheimer's in their life. Interesting, right? Now, how do the nuns show no sign of cognitive impairment in their entire life? That's because of neural plasticity and cognitive reserve. They both mean the same thing. You learn more, you won't get Alzheimer's. You learn more, you create and strengthen new synapse connections. That means even if some synapses are destroyed, if you learn more things, it buffers you from noticing that anything is amiss. So yeah, basically I'm telling you guys, if you just learn more and more and more and more, your life can be Alzheimer free. Now Albert Einstein, he never got Alzheimer's because he just learned and he grew synapses until he passed away. There's a lesson you can learn from this video. Always learn until you die. Learn things that are as rich in meaning as possible, because there are 2 reasons for it. One, you will always have the happiness of learning a new thing and sharing it, and 2, you will have an Alzheimer free life. Thank you.